Let's get into it.
Turns out, when you build your entire show around sneering at half the country, audiences eventually tune out. Just ask the Late Show host Stephen Colbert. And then there's The View, where diversity somehow means only inviting left-wing guests. It begs the question, is there still appetite for civil discourse and apolitical entertainment? Or has the liberal echo chamber become the norm? Well, Charlamagne certainly has some thoughts. Well, I give you a lot of credit because you have had me on your show. Mm-hmm. You have people with differing viewpoints on a lot of different things on your show. And Charlamagne, I think we need more of that.
Absolutely.
You know, you look, though.
Yeah, but that's Democrats that don't want conservatives on their shit. The issue here is that liberal media doesn't want conservatives. I'll give you guys a perfect example. So, as you guys know, the RNC, Republican National Convention, right? When I was there, I saw a bunch of left-wing media organizations there. Okay, I saw a lot of I saw like Young Turks had a full fucking booth in that bitch, okay? But at the DNC, from what I was told, they don't allow right-wing political commentators there. So see the difference? So with the RNC, I saw left-wing media there. At the DNC, they don't have any right-wing media there. Or it's very limited. Hell, they even kicked Hassan Piker out, bro. They literally kicked out Hassan Piker, who's one of the biggest fucking streamers on the left for them. If not the biggest. He actually, you know what? Yeah, no. Now I think about it, he's the biggest left-wing commentator. Streaming for sure. There's a bunch of them, but they even kicked out this dude. So what the fuck, man? Yeah, the left doesn't like to engage in discourse, bro, at all. They'd rather just censor you. We know that that's their tool, censorship.
At things like, take a look at these numbers. This is The View. The View had, since January, from January until July, look at that, 0 conservatives and 102 left-leaning guests. And then listen to...
Is that real?
That's real. And this is ABC News. And listen to what ex-reporter Terry Moran had to say. He said, but... we were biased, yes. Almost inadvertently, I'd say ABC News has the same problem so many leading cultural institutions do in America, a lack of viewpoint diversity. It's no secret there are hardly any people who supported Donald Trump at ABC News or other corporate legacy mainstream news networks. How important do you think it is to have different viewpoints and allow people, I mean, you're here on my show, I appreciate that, and vice versa, you had me on yours. This is important.
I think it's very important because I think a lot of times people talk about folks they never talk to.
Yeah.
And if you think that a person is spreading misinformation, if you think that a person is lying, then, you know, bring them on your platform and have that conversation. Like, you know, present the facts, present the truth, and then let the people decide. I think that's ridiculous to never, ever have anybody on your show that you don't agree with or has an opposing view of you or is from a different political party. Because at the end of the day, man, regardless of who's in the White House, that person represents all of America. And I reserve the right to criticize both parties. Well,
and I would say that person is a representative of America, and we should all want that person to succeed for America, right? No matter your political viewpoints, right?
100% agree. Like when you ask me, you know, what do I think President Trump has done over the last 6 months? I don't want to say that I think he did a terrible job, but if he's doing a terrible job, I got to call it like it is. And if it was a Democrat,
I will respectfully disagree with you on that.
Understand,
but that's okay. You can have your viewpoint.
But if it was I gave President Biden the same hell too, you know, because I didn't think he was doing a good job. All we want is somebody in those positions that's going to do a good job. I'm not a party person in no way, shape, or form. I want to say I'm an independent, but that don't make no sense because there's only 2 parties in this country, right? So you're going to end up voting for one of the other.
Do you see yourself in 2028 voting blue or voting red? And is there anyone you might already see yourself supporting?
Well, the Democrats are going to need a complete facelift, okay? I've talked about this before. They've lost the young men, right? They've ostracized a bunch of men. So they're going to need a complete facelift. I predict that if things keep going the way that they are, the new angle for the left is going to be being critical of Israel. I think that's going to be the next move. We're seeing Zohran Mamdani succeed with it in New York City right now. So if he becomes mayor, and I gave you guys full analysis on this, and I predicted it. If Zohran Mamdani becomes mayor of New York City, be ready. Be ready. It's going to be for sure the status quo is not taking AIPAC money from that point forward. It's not going to be immediately, but you're going to start to see a rise in it.
Reporting.
I really don't know. I mean, I think that there's some good candidates out there. You know, I think that we really have to look to the governors when it comes to the Democrats. I don't think that there's any like change agents that's going to come out of nowhere and shake things up in the Democratic Party. I think it's going to end up being a governor, you know, Josh Shapiro or a Wes Moore, somebody like that. And they actually have a track record, right? Because you can go look at their states to see what they're probably going to end up doing on a national level. The only other person I would like to see in 2028 run, and this is going to sound ridiculous probably coming from me, I would love to see Jon Stewart run in 2028. If we're talking about like a change agent coming from the outside that's really going to shake things up and some.
Well, they do need something. I'll tell you that. Maybe that might be the shakeup that they need because establishment Democrats are not it.
Somebody that I feel like can speak to
Hillary Clinton, the Obamas. Come on, man.
You know, all people. Plus, we actually, he's a celebrity who actually knows what they're talking about. We've seen him get legislation and stuff, you know, passed before. Like, we know where his heart is. He'd be somebody I'd like to see really get in the race and disrupt things in 2000.
Bro, they even mentioned fucking Stephen A. Smith. I started laughing when they said that shit. Bro, get this nigga out of here, man. That's how discombobulated the Democratic Party is. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Smash that like button, bro. We're only at 1,400 likes. We got 3,000 you guys in here pretty much. Smash that like button and just let's get to 2,000.
28. You know, maybe a Jon Stewart Colbert ticket because you know Colbert's not going to have a job. He's not working because of President Trump, so they say.
Well, people say different things. They also say he lost $40 million a year for CBS, which is also a bit of a problem whenever you're trying to have a successful show. If you had to pick a Republican who might be able to earn your vote, is there anyone you like that you would look at?
I mean, I was in South Carolina. I grew up in South Carolina under, you know, somebody like Nikki Haley, right? So I can see something like that. I do think, and this is, I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has got.
All right, so obviously,
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete.
So of course this dude's gonna give Donkey of the Day to Donald Trump. Let's see how he does it.
Shutdown of Muslims.
I agree with what you're saying, but we should all agree that you have the right to say it. Thankfully, Laura is a Trump who still believes in freedom of speech because her father-in-law, the 47th president of the United States of America, did not take too kindly to some things I had to say. Now, I'm going to play you a couple of parts of the conversation. Let's play when she asked me, what do I think of President Trump's second term so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating, you know,
Why not?
simply because, you know, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, you know, the big beautiful bill, that's something.
Here, let me see if I can find this because he's not playing the full video for you guys.
The base riled up to happen. So everybody right now, we have the opportunity to have like a huge everybody wants something different. So I think that if Democrats keep doing
on your show have a lot of young viewers. You're very influential, I think, with a lot of people.
the ideas out there that truly are going to put more money.
Maybe he didn't put it in this clip. All right, we'll just play it from his shit.
Something that, you know, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, you know, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, you know, anything that, you know, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, you know, they were previously in, I'm not for it.
I mean, where is the lie? Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to make the rich richer and the poor poorer, okay? Cuts all the safety net programs, the Medicaid, the food stamps, the housing assistance.
All right, so he's not 100% right about that. If you make under, I think, what the fuck was the magic number? Because we broke down the big, beautiful bill, guys. There was a number, I forget, it was like 100, it was somewhere between like $100,000 or something like that. If you make less than that, you are going to get some significant benefits. Where the big, beautiful bill is going to fuck niggas up are any of you guys that are like what I call mid to high earners. If you're making like $120K per year or more, that bracket's going to get cooked. All the way up until I think like $300,000 or $400,000. then you go ahead and start to get tax breaks again. So being in the middle ground of upper middle class is where you're going to get hit. I just can't remember the fucking number. Was it 150 to 220, chat? Was it 150 to 220? Because we literally did a fucking deep dive on this shit like a week or two ago. Thank you, Rumble Chat. I'm looking at you guys. I see you guys are starting to throw numbers here. But the general gist, I don't know the exact figure right now. Forgive me. But the point I'm trying to make is when people say, oh, this bill is going to make rich people richer and poor people poor, they're kind of half right. So if you are wealthy and you're like in the top 1% of earners, yes, you are going to get a tax break. Fair. But they're not making the poor poorer, because if you're poor, you're also going to get significant breaks. It's when you're in that middle ground where you're going to get cooked. Okay? So the middle class is going to be cooked, if I'm going to be honest with y'all. Middle to upper middle, cooked.
Millions of people will lose health care. Groceries will still be through the roof. Rent support will be through the roof. There's no relief for people who are already hurting, okay? I know I'm not supposed to care because this bill helps the rich, all right? The bill has all these corporate loopholes and capital gain breaks that benefit the 1%, but I know how.
Dude, these things have always been around, though. Like, these things have always been around. Yes, Trump accentuates it a bit more, but these fucking tax benefits have been around for the rich for a very long time. Why do you guys think I tell y'all all the time to invest in real estate, right? Like, I tell you guys invest in real estate. I got like 20-something properties. I tell y'all, yo, buy real estate because you're able to offset with depreciation and cost segregation a significant amount of income. But these benefits have been out forever. This is why real estate is the best asset class. It's the reason why if you go to Bank of America and say, yo, I'm trying to buy a house, they'll give you a loan for a house. But if you go into a Bank of America and say, hey, I want to buy stock in Bank of America, they won't give you a loan. Okay? So get this straight, bro. You could go into Bank of America. I need you guys to really understand this shit. This shows the power of real estate. You could go into a Bank of America and say, I want to buy a fucking house. Can I get a home loan? If your credit's good, they will give you a home loan. Right? However, if you go into that same fucking Bank of America and say, I want a loan to buy Bank of America stock, they will tell you, stupid, no.
Nope.
That should tell you guys something. That should tell you guys that real estate is by far probably one of the best asset classes to invest in, not just from a wealth creation standpoint, but from a tax benefit standpoint. This is why 90% plus of millionaires become millionaires via real estate. All right? So anyway, and if you guys are interested in real stuff, I don't talk about real estate as much on this channel because obviously it's a political commentary channel and shit like that. But I got full videos on Fresh and Fit, guys, where I break down how to buy a house step by step. Whether you're going to buy it with the FHA loan or if you're going to buy it with, as an investor with 20% down. I break all this shit down. I know we got a lot of new viewers here, right? The channel's been blowing up. A lot of you guys probably didn't even know I'm in real estate or how I invest in real estate. But Charlamagne saying this shit about make the rich richer, blah, 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 all these tax breaks. Bro, these things have always been in existence, bro. Okay? Like Trump might make it a little bit better, but these things have always been around. 1031 exchanges, depreciation, cost segregation, always been around. And these are strategies that real estate investors use all the time to mitigate their tax liability. That's why it's the best asset class, bro. It's the only asset class that a bank will give you a loan for that you could write off against your taxes. No other fucking asset class does that. Crypto doesn't do that. Stocks don't do that. None of that shit. And it gives you residual income.
You feel safe in this country? Like, who is the forward-thinking people that are talking about, making this country more affordable? Who are talking about really making you
okay on the dirt road in Mounts Corner, South Carolina, dropping the clues bombs from Mounts Corner, all right? So I'm gonna always have imposter syndrome when it comes to finances. My mind is always on the have-nots, and this big beautiful bill hurts the have-nots. Okay, like I said, the rich will get richer while the poor will be forced.
Well, the other thing too that the big beautiful bill does is it cuts back like SNAP benefits, and people need to actually have more documentation to get the benefits, which I think is a good thing. Too many niggas, and you know who I'm talking about, abuse the fucking system. So there's more checks and balances.
To work more for less. Okay, they'll have to work more for less support because they have work requirements and for aid that make it harder for the poor to qualify for help. I know I'm not supposed to care because I'll benefit from the income taxes, but you got everyday items like gas and groceries, electricity. They'll be more expensive for everybody else. So Americans making low incomes will have to pay a bigger share of their income to make ends meet. And President Trump, must I remind you that you said you won the election because of one word, groceries. Do we have that?
And I went on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that.
People's groceries are still too high. You have not lowered the cost. Okay, the other issue I said on My View with Laura's Trump is I believe traditional conservatives are quietly staging a political coup to take their party back from MAGA. I explained this to y'all a couple of weeks ago in detail.
Well, that's inevitable because once Trump goes, MAGA's done. So I mean that's not really a fucking theory, bro. It's a pretty much a certainty at this point. When Trump finishes his term, that will be the end of MAGA. Now, you'll have people like J.D. Vance or whatever try to carry the torch, but they're going to rebrand it into something else. Once his presidency ends, so will MAGA. That's a foregone conclusion at this point.
Yeah, but let's listen to what I said on My View.
I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying legislation and paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that.
Just a conspiracy theory I have. MAGA, y'all like a good conspiracy, all right? I mean, based on J.D. Vance allegedly visiting Rupert Murdoch in Montana, that was the same week Trump's letter to Epstein was published by Rupert Murdoch in the Wall Street Journal. And then about a week later, Mike Johnson shut the House down to avoid a vote on releasing the Epstein files.
Yeah, and where did he go? He went to Israel. We're going to talk about Mike Johnson here as well, guys. We got a whole portion dedicated to your boy Mike Johnson coming up fucking soon, bros. Hope y'all are ready. We got a great show planned for you guys today. Just so you guys know, we haven't even went through like 20% of the content yet, chat. So we still got a lot of shit to cover. So sit back and enjoy, motherfuckers, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Then the Wall Street Journal came out and said Trump knew he had been in the Epstein file since May. And I just look at how the MAGA base has responded to the Epstein issue. It just feels like traditional conservatives who lost the party to Trump could use this opportunity to get it back because the MAGA base wouldn't be upset at all if they impeached Trump and voted to remove him because he's in the...
No, they would still be pissed off. They still wouldn't allow him to be impeached.
Epstein files. I'm just saying, President Trump, watch your back, okay? Between Elon Musk, Rupert Murdoch, and you need to watch your Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and your VP, J.D. Vance, too. I'm just saying, okay? But anyway, Trump didn't like any of that, so he replied with a long-ass post on Truth Social. Lauren LaRosa, are you sober enough to read it?
I'm good.
Let's listen.
The very wonderful and talented Laura Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne the God. Why is he allowed to use the
Shout out to Trump with these long-ass rants on True Social.
word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname?
We'll study your lessons.
He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what
Noodle with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much on Kick.
words are coming out of his mouth and knows nothing about me or what I've done. Like just ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died and there was no end in sight. He did not know that. He did not know that, or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation have come way down, and where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope Charlamagne would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala? ? Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead, and now it's the hottest, and he capitalized hottest, country anywhere in the world. MAGA.
Now, the personal insults, I don't care. He called me a sleazebag. I looked up the definition of sleazebag. Says it's a disgusting or despicable person. Depending on who you ask, that may apply to me. Okay, I personally prefer friendly neighborhood a-hole. Okay, he said I'm a low IQ individual. I don't know. I've never taken an IQ test. He said I have no idea what words are coming out of my mouth. Absolutely true. Okay, I've been surprising myself my whole life. Like, damn, I actually said that? Now, let's get to your claims. He said I don't know anything about him ending 5 wars. Mr. President, nobody knew that because it's not true. All right, there is zero evidence, nothing credible whatsoever that says President Trump played any role in ending the ongoing, keyword, ongoing conflict in the Eastern DRC or in Rwanda. Okay, America has not brokered any major peace deal between the DRC and Rwanda during Trump's second term. And wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, you did pull off a significant strike, but it didn't eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities. Saying you wiped it out is an overstatement because according to reports, no enrichment facility was destroyed and Iran's nuclear threat is still very active, and some experts argue it's more dangerous now due to a lack of international oversight and the increased beef with Israel and the USA.
Well, yeah, it's more dangerous now because also Iran kicked out the IAEA. They literally kicked them out the country. So, if anything, it's strengthened their resolve to get a nuclear weapon. Us attacking Iran's nuclear program was absolutely fucking
redacted.
Because assuming the worst case scenario or best case scenario, let's assume we actually destroy all their nuclear capability, bro, they're just going to rebuild it back. And their resolve is going to be strengthened, and they rallied around the flag. So we actually united Iran by attacking them.
Now, you also claim the borders.
They took a huge W because they got attacked by both the United States and Israel, and the regime is still there. That's a huge W for them.
Were closed. Not closed, but you have tightened immigration policies and increased enforcement. You have definitely made the border harder to cross, but saying it's closed is false and ignores everyone coming over seeking legal asylum. By the way,
yeah, bro. Okay, see, this is like just deflecting. When we say close the border down, he means as in migrants coming into the United States unchecked like they were before. If you go ahead and you compare the border security now to the border security from before, Trump has made a significant change. It's probably one of the few things that he actually gets a W on is the immigration policy was stopping the free flow of illegal aliens coming here. That's probably the one thing that he did that isn't fucking
redacted.
Right? And then he's also running like a very aggressive interior deportation campaign. Hell, I mean, it's so aggressive that HSI is reaching out to try to get a bunch of agents. They need a bunch. Right? Hell, even somebody sent me an announcement on that shit. So, anyway,